Many years back, when we were still pretty young, as is normally the case, an inspector from Shops and Establishment Act came to visit us. And he gave us 5 violations of Shops and Establishment Act. First thing he said, there is no notice board on Marathi that you have to put so on and so forth. So we said yes. Then he said, there is no attendance register. What is the in time and out time of your people? I said, I have no idea whether my people are coming, not coming, out time, in time. They said, no, Shops and Establishment, you have to have an attendance register. So 5 things. So I said, okay, that's great. We'll do it in 1 week's time. We don't understand why Shops and Establishment wants all of that, but we will do it. It is the law. And we did it in 1 week's time. And he filed a case against us. And then my colleague who had gone to meet him, they said that, the case and all will not happen if you pay 10,000 rupees. So of course, there's no question of us paying 1 rupee. And then he filed a case, and I and my colleague Basuri Datta, we went to the court. It was in Parel, where there were 20 shopkeepers. They all had to come, and there's a judge with a wig. And it was a very dilapidated courtroom, but there's a judge with a wig. They will come to the stand where the so-called accused has to take that stand, and they will read out what are the violations, and they will ask, Kabul hai. Kabul hai means, do you admit? And everybody will say, Kabul hai, and they'll say 500 rupee fine, 1,000 rupee fine, 3,000 rupee fine, and all of that. My turn came. And the judge didn't even look at any of us. By the way, when they read out Kabul hai, I said, Kabul nahi hai. Now, the first time the judge looks at me from over his glasses like this, and he says, and he looks at the court. Now, that day, fortunately, there were 3 Europeans or, I don't know, Americans in the court. These are white-skinned guys, because they must have caught hold of some MNC also. They are also sitting there, suited, booted, sweating away in that courtroom with a squeaky fan. And he said, what do you mean, sir? I said, sir, look, I am the only person from my family who started a business. My parents were always against it because they thought all businessmen are crooks. But then I said that you don't have to be a crook in Mumbai. You can have an honest business. To cut a long story short, this gentleman, the inspector, was standing there. He came and he told us these are 5 violations. We corrected it in 1 week. We wrote a letter saying it has been corrected. Please come and observe. And instead of coming and observing and applauding us for taking corrective actions or advising us on what to do, he has filed a case. Here is a letter from Income Tax Department that I received 1 year back. I am a small businessman, but this letter is complimenting me as an ideal income taxpayer for paying advance tax in time and blah, 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 blah. I have 20 people who I pay salaries, etc. Is it his job to drag me to your court? What would you, my lordship, advise? And now there is silence in the court. Nobody has spoken to the judge like this before. The judge gives the firing of the life to the inspector, saying that Akka Mumbai mein ek hi honest aadmi mila tujhko mere court mein lane ke liye. He's saying you are a disgrace. You have to encourage honest businessmen to do honest business. Your job is not to file case and drag them to my court. He looks at me, he smiles, and he said, but sir, the law is blind. 20,000 rupee fine, bang. He fines me 20,000. This happened 11 years back. The inspector, any inspector from Shops and Establishment have never set their foot in my office ever again. So we have some very interesting cases, but I still believe that of all the places, maybe Mumbai is one of the few where you can do completely honest business and make money. And when people know that you are honest, they don't bother you. In fact, they help you.